Hello, seasoners. Welcome back to another episode of the Travel and Tourism Podcast, my first season. My guest today has a fascinating Club Med journey that spans decades. She first joined Club Med in 1992 as a costume designer and worked until 1994. Then, 23 years later, she returned to Club Med, this time as an Excursions G.O. and later Chief of Excursions at Columbus Isle in 2017. Her very first season was at Club Med St. Lucia, where she had the unforgettable experience of dressing none other than Queen's legendary guitarist, Sir Brian May, for the GM show, and without even realizing who he was at the time. She studied set design, costume design, and lighting in college, and it was a simple newspaper ad with a 1-800 number that set her on this incredible path. Hailing from Joliette, Quebec, please give a warm welcome to Izzy Chartier. Hello, Izzy. How are you?
Good morning. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you for being here on this lovely, lovely Montreal day. Are you ready to get started?
Yes, I am after this intro. Yep.
Yeah, we have a lot to cover. You went to Cégep Lionel Groulx, and what fascinates me is you worked on the very popular Quebec series. I believe it came out in 1990 called Les Filles du Caleb avec Roy Dupuis and Marina Orsini. Is this correct?
It's correct, yes.
What did you do on the show?
I was working in costumes. I was what they call petite main, which was like sewing things, placing costumes and ironing, the things that the big ones are not doing, actually. That was my first job.
Did you get to meet any of the actors or actresses?
Yes, they were coming for fitting, so we would meet them. Marina Orsini was really, really nice. She's known to be very, very nice with the production, which she was. I've seen her twice on Les Filles de Caleb, and after I worked on G.O, which is another series. So I've seen her twice.
So I guess you have to worry about, like, when you're fitting them for a costume, you don't stick the needle in their arm or leg, right?
Exactly.
Okay, because that would be bad. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So you're working there. You see a newspaper ad. So what makes you make the leap, like to say, hey, I would like to try that? Because I don't think you went to Club Med as a kid, right?
No, I didn't know Club Med, actually. I went on vacation with one of my friends, and we just wanted to escape Quebec winter and live a little bit of adventure. We were trying to find a way to escape, and I found this ad in the newspaper, and yes, there was a hotline, 1-800 Club Med or something like that. I called and decided to send my resume. My friend was doing it with me, but at some point she decided not to do it. I sent my resume, got called pretty fast, actually. They told me that they explained that once a year, the interview was in the main cities like Toronto, Vancouver, I think Montreal, something like that. And they said, tomorrow it's in Montreal and there's one spot left. Would you take it? So I decided it was for me. And I went, got the interview, and they said at the interview, if we take you, be ready to leave because it can be very fast. And I remember they asked me to leave like 2 weeks after.
Did you say you did go on vacation or no?
No, I did go on vacation, but not in Club Med.
Okay. And Kevin Batt was conducting this interview in Montreal?
I think, yes. I'm not sure.
I know he was around that time, and Kevin Batt is from Montreal.
Yeah.
Shout out.
And I talked to him about it, and I said, was it possible that you've been in Montreal for the interview? Anything? Yeah.
And how long after this interview do you wait to see where you're going? Was it days, weeks, months?
It was like 2 weeks.
Okay, good.
Well, they called me like a few days after, maybe a week, and then 2 weeks after I was gone.
Did you have your passport already, or you got it in the time that you were waiting?
I don't remember.
I think you might have had it. Like, where did you go? Did you go anywhere on vacation, but not Club Med with this friend of yours?
It was in the USA, so I didn't need a passport at the time.
At the time, yeah. Sure need one now, right? Okay.
But I had my passport when I went to Bogota in Colombia when I was 6. But no, it wouldn't have been good anymore. So I had to redo the whole thing. So, but I don't remember.
Okay. Well, let's see what you do remember about your first season. You arrive in St. Lucia in 1992 with Chief of Village Howard McCarley. So tell me, did you arrive at night? Did you sleep on the plane? Did you fly first class? What happened?
I arrived at night. after 17 hours of traveling, not
Yep.
flying, traveling, because
That's right.
they would like make you fly like the cheapest, right? So I think I had like 6 stop or something. So I arrived there, and as I was landing, I'm like, oh my God. I was realizing then that I'm alone. I speak English so, and I'm gone for 6 months. Better like it, right? So anyway, so I arrived there, and when I arrived at the club, I was welcomed by David Lucier, G.O. Scuba from Quebec. So he told me hello, gave me that welcome drink, and said, "Okay, I'm gonna show you your room, and then go shower and come back in red and white." So that was it. My room was not ready yet, so they put me in Glenda Robertson's room. I don't even know if she knows this to this day because she was on vacation. So I had her
Oh,
room for,
do you mean GA? Is that GA who you're
yes,
talking?
GA,
Okay, all
the
right.
legend. Yeah. So I had the room for about 2 days, I think. And after they found another room for me. So yes. So I went to the shower, and already, that the kind of showers you've got in the gymnasium, you've got another one beside and then one beside. And there was a couple there just giggling and ha 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 ha. And I was like, okay, that what's this place?
I guess we're doing this, right? Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay.
I went back to the reception, and they had this GO meeting, and they welcomed me, and that was it.
Well, that's a good story so far. Now, tell me, when you went to, so you're in St. Lucia, which is a predominantly French island, French West Indies. Now, when you encountered some French GOs, was there a bit of a language difference at all?
Well, that was English to me. I think they were speaking English over there.
No, no. Like when you start talking to
Oh,
French
okay.
GOs, I'm trying to get to your funny story.
Oh, okay,
So,
okay,
so there must have been some, maybe some confusion
okay.
at times with some words, right? Because
Oh, that's very good.
Quebecois and French people for listening is a bit different.
Yeah,
So, tell
yeah.
me about how you learned what.
Well, I was hired there as a costume designer, as a costumière, at the end of the first season, right? I was going through the second season. So the costumière from the first season was still there. So she taught me like what I needed to know for the job. And she was from Nice. She was French. Sorry, I don't remember her name. Super nice and everything. And so one day she walked in the costume room with lollipops. And she goes, Tu veux un suçon? Tu veux une sucette? And I'm like, no, sucette in French is like, in Quebecois, it's a hickey, So I'm like, I don't think so. Thank you so much. So I told her about that, and she thought it was funny. The next day, I came in with the candies, and I'm like, "Would you like a tu veux un suçon?" And she goes, "Nope." So we just realized that it was like for her, suçon was icky, and for me, sucette was icky. It's like the opposite. So I thought it was kind of funny, but yeah, you have to speak like open French.
So there was like me, I just realized that I never spoke with French people before when I went to Club Ed the first time, and I had to learn a lot of their words and phrases. Like I didn't know the word for socks, right? So
Yeah.
I had to learn that all. You're in St. Lucia, you're figuring out the job. Was it hard for you, or because of the school you went to, it was easy for you?
No, I adapt very well. So all of this was quite easy. Picked it up like very easy. Yeah. Loved everything. Loved the job, but loved the Club Med vibe even more.
Well, tell me, because you got to do some late nights there. You also had another first when you figured out a certain kind of caffeine. So you have to make three huge flags, right, this season, one
Yes.
for the 4th of July, Canada Day, and Bastille Day. So what happened there?
I was 20, like I was 24, I was 21 years old. I'm sorry. I was basically a kid, didn't know much about life. And yeah, I had to make these huge flags. Like, I swear to God, I think they were at least 8 by 10, if not 10 by 10. So I was ready to spend the night on this. So I decided to go get some coffees, right, for the night. I don't know, for some reason, they were serving, most of the time, they were serving just like espressos. And I had no clue what that was. So I was like, so small, right? So it's not gonna do. So I decided to have like 7 of them, like makes like few cups, few like normal cups. So I had like probably like 7 espresso. That was sewing quite fast. Yeah. So it worked. But that's where I discovered espressos.
And you also, even though you were busy, you had some time to try out other things, right? Like, did you get to go sailing or windsurfing?
Oh yeah, at that time we had more times during the day, I would say, compared to Club Med now. It's different. Like Club Med now, you have 1 day off a week. We didn't have a day off back then, but we had, I think, like we had more time during the day to do stuff. And at some point, two friends of mine decided to go sailing in the afternoon. Izzy, would you come with us and stuff? I'm like, yeah, I've got the afternoon. Fine, we'll go. So we just like we we got on beach, and then we hop on the thing and we go. We all relied on the others to turn the thing around at some point, and we didn't talk about this, so we are assuming that the other one had windsurf before. Well, when we got at some point that we were quite far, like people were like really tiny on the beach from our point of view, we decided to go back, and that's when we realized that no one knew how to turn the thing around. I
And
don't
the,
know how we managed to do
and,
that, but we did.
and the sailing geos, I just assumed you all knew how to sail, right? Or windsurf, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Whoops. Okay.
Back in the days,
All
no
right.
stress. You want to go, just go. You know,
Okay.
and I was not the courageous one. I remember that. I was like, bring me back to the shore, gonna be eaten by sharks.
Let's get to your next village. So, do you fill out a dream sheet at this time because you
Yeah.
go to a very special place? So, did you ask for Playa Blanca next?
Yes, I did because people told me that it was the place to be. So Playa was on my list. Yeah. I don't remember if it was second on my list or first, because I remember I also put Brazil up there.
Which one?
In Brazil, I think it was Itaparica.
Oh, okay, that's right. Yeah, but yeah, they're very, I think, strict about the language there, right? Like you really have
Well,
to speak
and it was
Portuguese.
out of my zone too, so there was no way
Yeah.
they're gonna send me this, but I didn't know it. So
Okay.
yeah.
But still, you get Playa. You're with the CDV Danny Stabielli,
Hmm.
and you're in costumes there. So you go from one big family to village to one big singles village, right? I guess you notice a difference right away.
Yes, I had the chance to go to the three kind of villages. They had like family, single, and couples. So yeah, I went to the three of them.
You had a much smaller, I guess, backstage area, right, than St. Lucia, if I recall,
Yes,
to
yes,
work. Yeah.
yes, exactly. Really small.
Well, you had those special weeks where Olivia and Atlantis both came while you were there, right?
Yes,
What did you think of that?
loved it. I'm a party person, and I think Atlantis was my best week ever. Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
nice. Olivia one was fun.
was fun too. Different, but as I say, I adapt. So you adapt to their rules. You're fine. It was way more fun. Atlantis. Olivia was a little bit, uh, you know, and they told us like the Atlantis was before Olivia. Like yeah, Atlantis was before Olivia, and when the guys left, they said, now you had fun with us, right? Well, maybe it's gonna be milder the next week, which was.
Throwing shade.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and you and I both did Playa, and we remarked that the wildlife there is pretty crazy. And it turns out when we were talking before this interview that we both had, for some reason, frogs in our shower. And what did you tell me about yours?
I think I've seen like the whole jungle there, really. At some point, I was coming from the, I was going to get my laundry, and I did at night because I was a costume designer. So my work was mainly at night. So it was not rare that I would go get my laundry at 3 in the morning. So that's what happened. Get my laundry at 3 in the morning and see that snake just pass in front of me. You know that kind of red and black one.
The dangerous one?
Yeah. Just like pass in front of me. I don't hate snakes. I like them. I'm not one of these people who screams when they see one, but I was like pretty happy to have my room on the second floor. As the rooms on the first floor, there was a kind of there was a space between the bottom of the door and the floor, and I'm like, oh my god, it could easily go under. But I've seen that. I've seen also those Mexican raccoon.
Cudamundi.
Yeah, I think that's it. I never.
But you never had one as a pet, like Jimmy did, right?
No,
Like
no,
Jimmy
no.
DeMarcus, or his roommate. Okay, good.
Actually, at one time I was in my room with Sophie. I was sharing a room with, her name was Sophie Boutique from France, and we always left our doors open and we were sharing the bathroom. So we were together in her room talking, and then at some point we heard something or someone knocking at the door. So I got up to open the door. Of course, it didn't knock at the door, but we realized after it was probably the tail, because it's got a huge tail, that was just banging on the door while it was feeding from the garbage can that was just in the corner out of the room. So, but when it saw me, it got scared and ran away, and I got scared and closed the door pretty fast. And yeah, they were
Nice.
everywhere in the village.
Yeah, and I guess you had a great time here, like every other Geo. Was
My
there
favorite village ever.
what did you like most about it?
Oh God, the party life. The party life, the team. The team was great.
Was it
Team
also the fact that because it was so small and centralized that the Geo and GMs were always together, right? Like it wasn't a spread out village. It was very small,
probably
right?
on my part, I cannot affirm it because as a costumier, you don't really get close with the GMs. That's why 20 years later I asked for another another work, like, and I wanted to be part of the GM's life, because when you're a costumier, you're often in your office, in the costume room, sewing or backstage, so the only time you're with the GMs, it's around the bar, which is not all day,
Yep.
unfortunately.
Well, sorry, my fault. We're gonna have to go back to St. Lucia before we
Yeah,
go to your next one because I mentioned in your intro Brian May, and then I stupidly don't ask you about it. So tell me about that because I always heard the stories that Brian May would come to Club Med and it's like he would judge the lip sync contest while the
yeah.
GOs were doing Queens. So is it true that you were dressing him for the GM show and you didn't know who it was?
Very true. I didn't even know it was in the village actually, because I was in the costume room doing my thing. And at some point, came in the costume room with his big smile, super nice, big thick English accent. Told me, "Yeah, I'm gonna be part of the GM show. Could I check the costume and could you help me dress up?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." So he walked in the dressing room, made some joke, ha ha ha. Super nice guy. He's been there, I don't know, like maybe 20 minutes, half an hour, I don't know. And then he left. And then right after he left, Jim Henry stormed in the costume room and go, "Oh my God, Izzy, you must be ecstatic." And I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "Well, do you know who just like got out of your costume room?" I mean, yeah, his name is Brian and he's gonna be part of the GM show. Do you know who that guy is? I'm like, "He's a GM." And he goes, "Okay, you have no idea, right?" I'm like, "What?" And he goes, "Do you know the band Queen, the rock group that, you know?" Um, yeah. And he goes, "That's the guitar player." I'm like, "Get out." I had no idea. And then we didn't have any iPhone, we didn't have internet, nothing. So when I came back 6 months after, just watched Music Plus and I saw videos and I'm like, "Oh my God." Now I was excited.
Well, you also did manage to get a picture because I think so few people have ever had photos, but
I
Izzy
do
found
have the,
one. So
yeah.
yeah, please make sure when you're listening to this, you go to the My First Season Facebook page after to see all her photos, but and also the one of Brian May. Very good, very good. Now, after Playa, do you request to go to Paradise Island in 1994, or they just needed you there?
They needed me there.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're with Metzi. I cannot pronounce his last name. Do you know how to pronounce it?
I think it's agricul and the
Glue.
end of it
Yes.
gets
And there's also someone at Land Sports who is a very famous future chief of village. Who is that?
in Paradise. Oh yeah,
In
in
Paradise.
Paradise Island.
Yeah,
I was like,
you worked with him, not me. Okay.
I'm like, "Who's that?" Yeah, when I got in Paradise Island for the beginning of the season, all the other geos were getting there, and at some point, I got to talk with a guy, super nice, for about, I don't know, for a long time. So, and for some reason, I don't know, we speak English to each other, and we both have this accent, but
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't know. Why?
I always wondered why people do that when, because I see it all the time at work, like, why don't you
Yeah.
just speak your language? It'll be so much quicker.
I know. I don't know. So we speak English to each other, blah, blah, blah. And for some reason, I'm sure it's from Senegal. By the way, I'm talking about Handel Duplessis.
Yes, there we go.
Chief
Okay.
of the...
Yeah, I was about to
And
jump in and tell the listeners, who we're
yeah,
talking about.
so I'm talking to him, and I'm sure he's from Senegal. So I talked to him, and at some point, I'm like, where are you from? And he goes, Brassard. I'm from Brassard. Get out. So yeah, so the guy's from Brassard. And
Quelle section? No, just kidding. That's only for people from Montreal. Get that joke.
so I'm like, okay, let's stop speaking English here, right?
Okay.
You can speak Quebecois. And so yeah, Handel.
We all know what Sucette means. Okay. There's no confusion here. Okay. Okay.
There you go.
Paradise Island. What'd you think of it?
Paradise Island was shorter for me because I left at some point. It was not my dream place, even though it was beautiful. Do you know about the pool?
I was going to ask if it was short because the ghost scared you away. Was that what happened, Izzy?
No,
Okay.
no, but at night I had to work a lot at night. And when I came back to my room was by the pool. That first one right at the right when you take the stairs, and those lions by the pool, really, it's like they're looking at you all the way. So no, yeah, but all those stories and stuff, but something happened to me once.
Yes. Go
But
on.
I don't know, like, I was showering like right before dinner, and at some point the light went out. So I'm like, okay, power off. It happens, right? Got out of the shower to find out that the switch was in the off position. It's not like the power went off, right? The switch has been moved to off and on, unless, it's possible that it does that. I don't know. But it did that twice in a row. And with all those ghost stories, I didn't feel good.
See, this would upset me because I was pretty vain in Club Med. So if a ghost turned off the light while I was in the shower, I'd be offended. Like, what? You don't want to see me in the shower? I would have taken that the other way. All right. And when you're in the shower, there was no frog in there with you that jumped out and hit the
No,
switch, right? Okay.
no,
Right.
no,
Got
no
it.
bugs, no nothing in that.
Okay. Silly ghost.
No,
Okay.
no. We used to have like those two dogs in Paradise Island.
Really?
Yeah, there was two. I don't remember what the name was.
Were they like security dogs?
No, there was just like,
Wild beach dogs, I guess?
yeah, wild beach dogs, and like we adopted them. One night it was one G.O that would have the dog in his room. The other night I would take it, and the other, like we would share the dogs, and you go to sleep, and then the dogs like went woof, and when animals see stuff that you can see, and you're like, what's going on? So that was that kind of village, like not
Okay.
super secure. But
All
I don't
right.
know at which point those stories were right, though, were true.
Yeah. Well, another story that happened here was you kind of met someone, right? Like a land sports G.O from Montreal. Is this true?
Yeah, well, from all over, I would say, because his dad was in the army. Paradise Island, yeah, I met Chris. Chris Haddy was land sports, and when he came back from Club Med, we met and we got married. Lasted 2 years.
Where was your honeymoon?
Oh, yeah, the honeymoon, because we were two ex-GOs at that point. We went to Sonora Bay for the honeymoon. So the first week, because we were ex-GOs, we decided to work there as au pair, they called it at the time. So he was sailing GO there, and I was hostess GO for the week. And the second week, we just decided to enjoy the place.
Okay. But then I guess you make the decision to stop, right?
Yes.
So your last season would have been Paradise. So
Yes.
now you go back home, back to Montreal. You start working. Unlike most people, when you I guess lost your job or got laid off, I guess you asked yourself a question, right?
Yes.
So if you can explain to our listeners what you came to, like, what did you realize?
So I don't have a job anymore, and I'm sending my resume everywhere. But then at some point, it's not working, and nothing comes out of it. So I decided to follow this advice that I once was given, and which I give all the time myself. Someone told me once, try to do something you would be willing to do for free for the rest of your life. Then you're sure to be happy, right? So I'm like, okay. So I'm trying to find it. Well,
And sorry, and meaning that you would be working, but you would love working at this place. It wouldn't bother you if you got paid or not, right?
exactly. You like it so much, pay me, don't pay me. I don't care. I love it. So, and the only thing that popped to mind was Club Med because I was at that time, I was on the top of my game, I remember. And that was it for me. So, and to this day, I would do it again in a heartbeat, but remote because I'm getting old.
Remote, yeah. Remote from the beach. Okay. I don't know if that works, but okay.
Yeah, that's
All right.
actually, well, I can, you know.
But in order to do this, you reach out to that guy from Brassard, I
Yeah, I
guess.
reached out to
Okay.
him.
Handel Duplessis.
I reached
Okay.
out to Wendell because he's, you know, it's always been my friend. And even though like that's what happened in Clement. You don't see each other for years, but doesn't matter, you know, like he's in my Facebook friends. So I reach out to him and I go, I lost my job. I'd really love to go back to Clement. Am I too old? Because at this point I think I'm 45 years old. Ish. So he goes, no, 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 he's no problem. You're never too old. And I'm like, okay, but what is it now? What is it like now? Is it different? Is it, and he goes, same, but different. Can it be more vague? But when I came back from my last season, I was like, that's it. That's really the way to express it, because it's really the same, but also very different. So yes, I went to the Montreal interview, and I got the job.
All right. So this is yeah, like I said, almost 23 years later after your
Mhm.
last season, you have to go for training. And who winds up being one of your trainers?
I went for my first season in Columbus. I was assistant excursion, and then maybe 6 months later, I became chief of service for the excursion. And the training was given by Howard, my first chief of visit, which was that was nice actually. You
Did he
know,
remember you with
he
some
did
jogging?
not.
Okay, he did not. Okay.
No, I was not really
Well,
loud.
it
Like
was a long
my
time ago, right? I mean, come on.
yes, and I was pretty shy at the time, I think. And so, yeah, so he did not remember me, but he thought that was kind of cool too. Yeah.
Also, that after St. Lucia, Playa, and Paradise, beautiful resorts, but nothing like the Geo room. So you must have been shocked when you got to Columbus and saw the Geo rooms, right?
The cheer room were nice, yeah.
Very
Um,
nice.
huh?
But well, very nice. I thought, you spent 2 years, I spent 2.5 years. So Columbus, yeah, I mean, for if you've done Playa or Paradise, then it's remarkably different. You have a TV and telephone and whatnot in your
Yeah,
room,
yeah,
right?
yeah. Okay, this, yes, that,
Well,
yeah.
oh yeah, this. Well, you have privacy and whatnot. So I thought, yeah, sure, it's a bit of a long walk from the center of the village, sure, but
No, I had a bike, which was nice.
oh,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
yeah, a bike in Columbus is like having a Rolls Royce or a BMW.
exactly. With a basket in front. I
Yeah.
mean, yes,
So,
that
so
was perfect.
your first season is with Antonio Di Razza. So this is 2017 now. People, we're in Columbus, Isle. You got some people there. I want to know if we're still around. So was Hansel Moss
Oh,
still?
yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, my buddy Hansel Moss. Shout out.
Yes.
Okay.
He was in charge of the bikes, so I had to see him pretty much every day because I was at excursion and I was renting bikes. And he still have this bar on the island. I don't know if
Yeah,
you,
and the
yeah,
gym,
and
Flex
the
Gym,
gym.
Flex
Yeah.
Gym. If you're in San Salvador, please visit Flex Gym. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. So your excursions, because I remember asking and maybe joking a bit because I worked 2.5 years there. I'm like, what kind of excursions could you have? But you had these half-day excursions, lagoon, high
Yeah.
key, island tour, bike ride, private boat, right?
Exactly.
So they came up with some new ones, since I've been there. So that's good.
Well, I had jet skis too.
Jet skis too.
Well, yeah. By the
Whoa.
when I was there, we had jet skis.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yes. Yes.
Do you know that you're going to be there that long or just happened? Because it's not often I see someone work 2 years straight. I mean, I had a break from when I did it. So how does it happen? You go from like 2017 to 2019 at Columbus.
Well, back in the days, I remember the seasons were 6 months long, and now it's pretty much a year.
Okay.
Is that it? Yeah.
in 2018, so you actually see the changeover of the Chief of Village, right? It goes Francis
Yes,
Lacoste to Juju Latrez. Is it
exactly.
a big deal still when they change chiefs? Did they do like some giving
With
you a
me.
giant key or something on stage? Or
Oh no, I'm not a chief. You have to ask this to chiefs of village.
did they do anything though? Did they make a production, or is it just like, hi,
Not when I was there. It was pretty
okay,
much high.
all right. So you're chief of excursion in 2018, right? So you move up.
Yeah. Yes. Well, loved it. Love to be chief of excursion. Would love to get some other excursions too. They asked me to do that at some points too. I was working on new excursion and stuff, but it's a small island with that much of resources, I would say. So it was not always possible to do what I wanted to do. But yeah, loved it. Loved it. And at some point they asked me to be it did not happen, didn't work out. But how can I say that? I'd call it a flying excursion responsable. I would have been at my office would have been at Columbus, and I would also take care of the excursion and two other clubs. But it didn't work out at the end. But
Oh,
I would have loved it. Yeah.
okay. And then 2019, I think it's your last season. So you
Yeah.
switched to boutique.
I switched to boutique. Yeah, I switched to boutique just to relax a bit, I guess.
All right. And the boutique is still like right next to reception, right?
Exactly.
My favorite thing waiting for arrivals and departures was to watch the GMs trying to enter the boutique from those nice two big wooden doors that are just for decoration. And they'd
Yeah.
be pulling and pulling on the door handle with all the might, that was my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Trying to get into the boutique from that side. Okay.
When I was going to well, it's like big windows to put stuff in, and when I had to go work in there, I used to say that I was going to Narnia, you know.
Okay. Well, since you were always before a costume designer, do now they stick you in shows? Because now you don't have the excuse of, oh, I'm sorry, I'm the costume designer, I can't do the shows. Do they now approach you when you're in Columbus to
I don't
part?
think so. From what I saw, costume designer are never on in shows.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like that would be my
Yeah.
excuse to not do the shows. So, whoa, I'm the costume
Didn't like the
designer.
show?
But now you're in Columbus. Love the shows, hated rehearsal at midnight.
Oh,
So,
really? Okay.
but now at Columbus, do they get you now? Does the choreographer corner you and go, ha ha ha? I see your excursion now. Would you like to do the show? Did you do any
Oh, yes,
shows
they
in
would.
Columbus?
Yeah. But on the contrary,
Mm-hmm.
I love the shows.
Okay.
So yeah, and I sing. So
You sing?
yeah, I sing.
How come I'm just hearing about this now? You sing?
Surprise.
What do you sing?
Well, I sing, well, mainly in Clomette, I was singing some Amy Winehouse.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I sang one song of Adele once.
Which song by Adele?
That's what I'm looking for in my memory,
Oh,
Granny.
okay. Hello.
No.
Eh, is it a song that's going to make me cry? Okay, because
No, it's the
don't
James
sing.
Bond song. What is it?
Oh, okay, that's right. Well, okay, it's a Quantum of Solace. Okay, no, I think I know which one you're
No,
talking about.
no,
Yes,
yeah,
she did the song for that. All right,
yeah.
and which Amy Winehouse one? Rehab?
No, that
No,
was the oh, come on, I sang that for 2 years in a row.
I'm going to ask you to sing it now, right? No,
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 you
no.
won't.
Darn it. Okay, I tried, folks. Okay.
Black, Back to Black. I'm sorry.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
so
No microphone, no audience. I'm not singing.
a cappella.
No.
Okay, so you had the track just without the vocals, and then you supplied the vocals, right?
I said that I need a microphone and I need an audience to sing.
Okay. So were you like in between numbers? So like the GOs have time to change, or was it just like a solo?
No, it was mainly during Geo's, what is cabaret? I think we
Okay.
called it back in the days. Yeah, cabaret. So, yeah,
Nice.
like after a circus number sometimes. After Sophie, often. Sophie was all,
After Sophie Boutique.
Sophie's Sophie the singer.
Oh,
Sophie
yo,
Vaillancourt.
Sophie Vaillancourt,
Yeah, she
the
sings, but she was
professional
always
singer. Yeah.
doing some circus number. So
Yeah. Shout out Sophie, former
Sophie,
guest of the show. Yeah, sang a duet with Celine Dion
yeah,
back in Quebec. All
yeah.
right. Cool. From all your time in Club Med, was there anyone that you really enjoyed working with?
Well, there was Stephanie Gauthier and Vicky. My God, Come on, Izzy. Vicky
Okay.
and Stephanie. She knows. She knows. I
Vicky
know.
knows who she is. What
Of course.
season? What season was Vicky? Let's just.
First season and second season with me, Saint Lucia
Okay.
and Playa Blanca.
Okay.
Yeah. So Vicky and Stephanie were with me all the time. We were the three musketeers, I'd say. And I saw Vicky 2 years ago. She went to my place.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
So I met her again. Stephanie, unfortunately, she passed away in 2014. So of course I would love to see her again. We were best friends. Otherwise, I'd say definitely Graham Maxwell, even though he didn't mention my name on his podcast.
There were so many names, though. Okay.
I know, that's fine.
Okay, so he would have been the choreographer, and then you would have been the
Yep.
costume designer. Okay.
Yes. And with Facebook, it's much fun because you get in touch with people, you stay in touch with people. Just wanted to mention too that I listen to the other podcasts and hearing voices from people, it's like a breath of fresh air. Really, that was so comforting to hear the voices of people, that you can see on Facebook, but you don't get the chance to hear for some reason. So that was really nice. And there's some people that are not on Facebook, unfortunately. Like I remember Janelle Rizzo, Casey, Gloria, Ernie Luna, all those people I'd love to hear about again.
Okay, so if you're listening to Izzy right now, please reach out to her, people.
Yes, and Vicky Belanger. I'm sorry for some reason.
Oh, Vicky Belanger. Okay,
Yeah, it's Vicky
VB.
Belanger. I don't know why I'm. Yeah,
Okay,
so you
that's
should
okay.
have her on your podcast. She has
Vicky,
a lot.
you're more than invited, Vicky.
Yeah,
Will she sing for me?
maybe not her, but her daughter. Her daughter made Star Academy. She's a great singer.
What? Her daughter
Yeah.
was in Star. So we have Sophie Vaillancourt and Vicky's daughter are both in Star Academy.
Yes.
Whoa!
Vicky Belanger got married to a G.O too, and she had
What?
two kids with him.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, Vicky, where are you? How come you haven't reached out to me, Vicky? Come on.
Vicky, you're on.
Yeah,
You're on next.
you're on next. Sorry, get ready.
Yeah.
So 2019. Did you ever go to any reunions since then, or no? Like, were
No,
you
I
back?
did not.
Okay. Do you miss anything about Club Med? Are there three things you miss, or one thing?
I miss the connections, mainly the Club Med vibe. Like I found that you don't find it anywhere else. I'm 44 years old. I did a lot of different things, like work-wise in my life, and nothing ever compared. Like you go to work in a new place, you meet people. It takes a while to connect, to learn, to know people, but in Club Med, it's almost instantly. For some reason, I noticed that I don't know, we all come alone and then we connect with people. 6 months, we start over season after seasons with different people, and it works. It's hard to define, but it's like if we have all the same DNA, like if we were from the same family.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly
So,
right.
right. Yeah.
And I assume being from Montreal, you must really miss it in the winter, like I do.
I do. I do. Like, if you ask me three things I miss the most, the connection, of course, the landscape, but I'd say the once in a lifetime memory that you create there. Like in St. Lucia, I had the chance to go horseback in the water, like bareback with no saddle, bathing suit, three girls. We went in the ocean with the three horses. That was life. After in Columbus, went swimming with dolphins, swimming with turtles. That I miss, things that you can only live there.
You didn't send me the St. Lucia picture, right? I don't think we have one of you and three girls in bikinis on horseback, right? If
No,
I'm
I
not
did not.
mistaken.
I'm sorry.
Okay. Sorry,
We didn't have
listeners.
anything.
Sorry, listeners. Okay. That would have been a nice shot, though, with the sunset,
Yeah.
and everything,
Yeah.
But that's true. Columbus now has, I think, a family of dolphins that are there, right? It wasn't there in my time, but I hear that there are dolphins there now.
Well, it's not like you go on boat, private boat,
Oh, okay.
and at some point they just show up. It's not like nothing organized. It's just there. It's nature. It's
Okay.
beautiful.
So they don't come to the beach if you're on the beach at
Well,
Columbus.
sometimes yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, we've seen some on the beach. So are they the same? I wouldn't know.
Yeah, that's
Didn't
true.
ask.
Jo-
But this,
Jojo and Turks, you always know it. It's him.
yeah.
Okay.
That's it, the connection, the those beautiful moments, and for me, the performing, the singing, I miss getting ready for a show at night. I miss that.
Trying to dress dumb geos like me with who have too big feet. I can't fit in repettos because I have size 13. I have to bring my own shoes.
Those, oh my God, just the name of it.
Yeah, repetto. They're so small. I always had to wear my own dress shoes for the shows. Of course, they would break or rip. Darn you, repetto. Tell me, Izzy, I'm going to go back to St. Lucia again because I didn't do my homework properly and I keep skipping over stories. So you mentioned that there was a chief of bar that had a unique way of making sure his bar geos didn't show up late for work, right? Do you mind telling
Yes.
us what this person would do?
Yes, Francis Daniel, salut Francis, chief of bar at the time, decided he was going to go with what he called penalty shots. So if you come to your shift late, the other bar, G.O, could make a shot of whatever you wanted for you to drink. And I mean, whatever you wanted. So I was often there by the bar because it turned out to be like a show, because we knew someone would be late at some point. One time I remember that disgusting shot that one Geo made for the other one, and it was something like blue cheese, vodka, and Tabasco. I know there was blue cheese and Tabasco.
Okay,
I'm not
so this
sure
was
about.
yeah, so this is called the penalty shot,
Yes.
kind of like in the hockey game, but but
Yes.
unlike a hockey game, you don't have to drink something when you're in the penalty box. So
No,
this was just you describing that shot. Well, anything with blue cheese for one, but I guess that Geo wasn't late again.
I don't know. I
I
think it
I
was.
I I would not be after that. Okay. Unless he wound up liking it.
Not sure.
Okay. Machelle Izzy, my dear Izzy, we're coming to the end, but before we go, I just wanted to get your overall impression, like, because you have such a unique story. Do you think if you never saw that newspaper ad, like I always wonder, like fate, like would you be at
Yeah.
Club Med? If you, the fact that you did see it, are you glad that you took the plunge, you decided to try
Well,
something new?
totally changed my life. To this day, it's still the greatest adventure I had, best journey of my life. And it's not made for everyone. I always say when people go, oh my God, I wish I could do this. And I'm like, really? It's not made for everyone, actually. I remember back in the days, and you probably remember it too, like breakfast, lunch, dinner, we had to sit with GMs all the time. I loved it. But I mean, if you don't feel like that in the morning, if you don't feel like talking with people, well, you're not at the right place. You really need to love people that much. And now it's different. Now they leave you the breakfast to be by with geos. But that's one of the things I miss the most too. Breakfast, table of eight, with geos from Senegal, Italy, Brazil, Canada, France, whatever.
Brossard.
Brossard.
Okay.
And, at the same table, there's like Italian going on, French, English, whatever. So this for me was a great way to start my day. This I miss to this day. And when you asked me earlier if there was people that I was missing, like more recently from Columbus, I'd say shout out to the boutique team, Vivi, Sonia, Sophia. Sophia, of course, I mentioned it earlier. Lalo, Christelle Reception, Danilo Tennis, and Mamadou Sailing. Anyways, there's a list, but those are the names that comes to mind.
A lot of these people, and also from Columbus, will be in your photos. So if you want to
Yes.
check out Izzy's amazing photos, please go to
Mhm.
my first season Facebook page, people, and drop a follow if you're there. Thank you. Oh, thank you so much for doing this, Izzy, and taking time out of your day to do this. I
My
really
pleasure.
appreciate it. This is so cool of you to do.
My pleasure. It was awesome. It was great. And thank you for doing this. People love it, and it's a way to keep to stay in touch. So thanks to you. That's amazing work.
Yeah, and somewhere right now, someone's saying, "Oh my God, I haven't heard Izzy's voice since 1992." So the same person that you said something about is saying about you. Isn't that cool?
Yes, it's cool.
Sweet. All right, everyone. That was the amazing, the one and only Izzy Chartier. And we'll see you all next week. It's a new episode. Say bye, Izzy.
Bye.
Bye.